So if you clicked on this video, you are here to learn about legato playing. So firstly, we have to ask the question, what is legato? Legato, by definition, is the smooth transition between notes. When we are doing legato, our aim is to make sure that it goes from one note to the next as smooth as possible, so no jumps in volume, and it stays the same sound. So, instead of picking each note like this, it should sound like this. It's a subtle difference, but it's a difference that makes the technique stand out. It's got a more vocal-like quality, trying to make sure that the note transitions from the other one to the next without that picking sound. The reason why I say it has a vocal-like quality is because when you're a vocalist, you don't stop at notes, you transition through them. And you get that same effect by doing legato on the guitar. One common way to use legato is to slide into notes. The main way you'll be doing legato on the guitar is with the legato technique. What I mean by this is that you have to learn the technique to be able to pull it off. Pun intended. When learning legato specifically on the guitar, we need to take care of a few factors. And we need to do different things with both hands. Let's start with the fretting hand. With the fretting hand, we need to make sure that the thumb is supportive behind the neck, like so. The thumb should trace down the middle of the neck to the middle and never go past it. But when you're at the higher part of the guitar, you have your thumb up close. And as you get to the higher end of the guitar on the fretboard, onto the higher strings, your thumb will be guided down to the middle of the guitar. We then need to take a look at the right amount of pressure we need to apply to each of the notes. The idea is that the last note played shouldn't change in volume to the next note. If this is not happening for you, then you'll need to apply more pressure as you press from one note to the next, as shown in my demonstration. When learning legato, it's important to know when to keep your fingers on and when to keep your fingers off. So when you are pulling off, you want to make sure that you've got a finger behind to sustain the note. And if you're not using those fingers on the notes that you need, make sure they are off the string. We then need to talk about the other hand, which is not fretting and doing the muting. It's a very important job. We then have a look at our muting hand and we put that onto the bridge to make sure that any strings that we don't want ringing out stay muted. We do that by taking the ridge part of the hand and putting it onto the bridge, holding your pick like so, and then laying down the sort of like bulbous area here where your thumb joint is onto the string to control the low end as well. That way, whenever you're doing any legato runs, you will not get something that's called sympathetic ring. Sympathetic ring just means that when you're playing one string, you can hear the other strings vibrate, and you don't want that because you get a really weird sound. It is for this reason that muting on the guitar is very important. Most of legato on the guitar is a sequence of hammer-ons and pull-offs. So a good way to learn legato is to combine these movements into a simple exercise. So let's place our first finger on the 5th fret of the G string, and we're going to hammer on our second finger onto the 6th fret of the G string and then pull off, like so. And we will hammer on in like a continuous motion. Getting used to that smooth transition and making every note sound like it was picked before. Then we will move on to the 3rd finger and do the same thing. But this time we'll be moving the 3rd finger up to the 7th fret and repeating the same motion. And you guessed it, we're going to move up to with the pinky finger up to the 8th fret. And here's what it sounds like in an exercise. I recommend adding this to your practice routines, but starting off very, very slowly and then increasing the speed when you've nailed the slower speeds. Lastly, we need to look at using this technique in a more musical way. This technique tends to lend itself to the 3-note per string scales. This is because the symmetry in having 3 notes per string makes it easier to hammer on and pull off. For this video, I'm going to assume you know your major scales with 3 notes per string, but here is a 3-note per string pattern that you can follow, and we're going to start off slow and then we're going to show you the fast one. So here is the slow speeded one that you can follow along. And here is the faster one. One thing to note when you're following along, to make sure that your accuracy is more important than your speed. To make sure that every note that you play is sounding the same as before, and if it isn't, then you need to go back down to a slower speed to practice it properly. There are more advanced things you can do with legato, and there are a lot of patterns that you can learn also. So if you want to learn about those and you want to stick around, well, later on we'll have a video for you that includes that too. If you want to check out anything that we do, please subscribe. We've got more educational videos that are coming to you, completely free. And we also have an application that you can check out in the description below that teaches you guitar and music theory. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.